Did you know that nearly 1 in 5 children in the US experience emotional neglect? That's over 15 million kids, many of whom grow up feeling unworthy of love. The shocking truth is that unloving parents can leave scars that last a lifetime, affecting not just self-esteem, but mental health, relationships, and even career success. But here's the kicker: most of these kids don't even realize it's happening. Emotional neglect doesn't look like physical abuse. It's silent, sneaky, and often gets overlooked. These children might grow up excelling in school or hiding behind a perfect persona, but inside, they're struggling with self-hate and insecurity. In this video, we'll uncover how unloving parents create a lifetime of emotional scars and show you how to break free from that cycle. From the painful effects of emotional neglect to the hidden masks of perfectionism, we'll explore how to heal, rebuild self-love, and take back control of your happiness. Stick around for real, actionable strategies that could change your life. Chapter 1. The silent pain of emotional neglect. Emotional neglect is often invisible, but its impact is profound. Unlike physical abuse, emotional neglect doesn't leave visible scars, yet it can shape a child's entire view of themselves. When parents fail to provide love, attention, and emotional support, children can feel like they are invisible or unworthy. Research has shown that emotional neglect is linked to higher rates of depression and anxiety in adulthood. In fact, according to a study published in the Journal of Child and Family Studies, neglectful parenting increases the likelihood of a child developing self-esteem issues by 40%. One of the worst parts of emotional neglect is that it's hard to identify. It doesn't look like yelling or hitting, so many people don't recognize it as harmful. Children of emotionally neglectful parents often don't realize they're missing out on basic emotional needs like affection or encouragement. They grow up feeling as if something's off, but they can't pinpoint it. Over time, this emotional void can lead to feelings of shame and unworthiness. As they get older, these children may believe they don't deserve love or kindness, which then affects how they interact with others. This can also cause difficulty in forming healthy, trusting relationships in adulthood. We are all a product of the love we did or did not receive, says Dr. Janice Webb, a psychologist and author of Running on Empty: Overcome Your Childhood Emotional Neglect. Her research shows that neglect not only harms self-esteem but also disrupts a child's ability to regulate emotions later in life. The good news? Healing is possible. One of the first steps in overcoming emotional neglect is recognizing its existence. Therapy is one effective strategy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which helps individuals reframe negative beliefs. Learning self-compassion also plays a key role in healing, teaching children of neglect to treat themselves with kindness and understanding. Mindfulness practices like meditation can help break negative thinking patterns and build emotional resilience. Chapter 2. Mirror, Mirror: How Parents Shape Our Self-Image. Children learn how to see themselves by how their parents see them. When parents are unloving or critical, children internalize these negative messages, often for a lifetime. A study by the American Psychological Association found that parental criticism in childhood significantly correlates with low self-esteem in adulthood. For example, a parent who constantly points out flaws might unknowingly teach their child that they're not good enough. This mirror effect is powerful. Children naturally look to their parents for validation and a sense of self-worth. When parents withhold affection or express disapproval, children interpret this as proof that they aren't lovable. Over time, this perception can become a deeply ingrained belief. It's like looking into a broken mirror, seeing only the flaws, and accepting that image as the truth. A shocking statistic from the National Institute of Mental Health reveals that about 60% of children from neglectful homes grow up with low self-esteem. What's more, these children are more likely to develop self-hate. This negative self-view often leads to them believing they can never meet expectations, which can trap them in a cycle of failure and self-doubt. Interestingly, research has also shown that children who receive praise and positive reinforcement from their parents tend to have higher self-esteem and healthier relationships. But for children of unloving parents, this positive reinforcement is often absent. To heal, they must first recognize that the image of themselves formed through parental criticism is not who they truly are. Rewriting this narrative is crucial. Therapy that focuses on cognitive restructuring can be incredibly effective. By helping individuals challenge and reframe their negative beliefs, it allows them to see themselves in a more balanced and loving light. Also, practicing self-affirmation and surrounding oneself with supportive people can help counteract the internalized negative messages from unloving parents. Chapter 3. The unspoken language of unconditional love. Unconditional love is the cornerstone of a child's emotional development. When parents offer love that isn't dependent on performance, children develop a sense of security and self-worth. This is in contrast to conditional love, where children are only praised when they meet certain expectations, such as getting good grades or excelling in sports. The damage caused by conditional love is often underestimated. A child who grows up with conditional love may believe they are only valuable when they achieve something. This belief can lead to feelings of inadequacy and deep self-hate if they ever fail to meet those expectations. According to Dr. Brené Brown, author of The Gifts of Imperfection, if we don't know we are enough, we can't feel secure in our place in the world. This highlights the importance of feeling loved for who you are, not what you do. Data supports this. A study published in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that children who experience unconditional love are less likely to develop anxiety and depression as they grow older. In contrast, those raised with conditional love are more prone to feeling unworthy and struggling with low self-esteem. The good news is that breaking free from the damaging effects of conditional love is possible. One key strategy is to reframe success and failure. Children of unloving parents often view mistakes as signs of worthlessness. Teaching them to see failure as a normal part of growth can help them develop resilience and self-compassion. Another important step is to practice self-acceptance. This means learning to love yourself despite your imperfections and not feeling the need to earn love. Therapy, particularly humanistic therapy, encourages this approach by focusing on the individual's intrinsic worth. Journaling is another tool that can help children of unloving parents reflect on their experiences and embrace their true selves. If you're finding this helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more content that could change your life and healing journey. Chapter 4. The Toxic Cycle. How unloving parents repeat generational trauma. Generational trauma is real, and it's often passed down from one generation to the next without us even realizing it. When a parent grows up in a home without love or emotional support, they may struggle to show affection to their own children. This creates a cycle of emotional neglect and self-hate that spans generations. According to Dr. Gabor Mate, a renowned physician and trauma expert, trauma is not just what happens to you, it's also what happens within you, and how it gets passed down. Research shows that children of neglectful parents are more likely to become neglectful themselves. A study in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that parents who had experienced emotional neglect as children were 2.5 times more likely to repeat the pattern with their own children. These patterns are so ingrained that many parents don't even realize they're continuing the cycle. The most heartbreaking part of generational trauma is that it often goes unnoticed. Parents might think they're showing love, but they're not meeting their child's emotional needs. For example, many parents show love through providing material things or keeping the child busy with activities, without considering if the child feels emotionally supported. This lack of emotional connection leads to a deeper sense of inadequacy in children, which often persists into adulthood. So, how do we break this cycle? The first step is awareness. Acknowledging that the behavior is rooted in trauma helps parents take responsibility and make changes. Therapy can be a vital tool in breaking this cycle. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, helps individuals recognize patterns of behavior and replace them with healthier ways of interacting. In addition to therapy, parents can work to reframe their parenting style. Instead of focusing on controlling their child's behavior, they can focus on creating an emotionally safe environment where the child feels heard and loved. Practicing mindfulness as a family can also be a powerful way to foster emotional connection and break down old patterns. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more insights on how to heal and create healthy, loving relationships. Chapter 5. The Mask of Perfection. How kids hide their inner struggle. Children of unloving parents often wear a mask of perfection to hide their inner pain. They may excel at school, sports, or in social situations, but inside, they feel like they are falling apart. This mask is a coping mechanism, a way to seek the approval and validation that they didn't receive at home. According to Dr. Kristin Neff, a self-compassion researcher, perfectionism is a shield against the vulnerability of being imperfect. The desire to be perfect often stems from the belief that love and approval can only be earned through achievement. Children raised with unloving parents might internalize this message, believing that only through success will they be worthy of love. This belief leads to a constant state of pressure, where anything less than perfection feels like failure. Studies show that perfectionism is linked to depression and anxiety. A study published in the Journal of Counseling Psychology found that perfectionism in childhood is strongly correlated with lower self-esteem and higher rates of mental health struggles. When children are unable to meet their own high standards, they often feel like failures. Breaking free from the need for perfection starts with recognizing that it's an unhealthy coping mechanism. The first step is to embrace self-compassion. Instead of pushing themselves to be perfect, children and adults alike can learn to treat themselves with kindness when they make mistakes. Practicing mindfulness can help individuals become more aware of their feelings and break the cycle of self-criticism. Therapy is another useful tool in helping individuals let go of perfectionism. A therapeutic approach called acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, focuses on accepting feelings of imperfection rather than fighting against them. This approach encourages individuals to be present with their emotions and learn to live with imperfection. Chapter 6. From Self-Hate to Self-Love. Breaking free from parental shadows. The journey from self-hate to self-love is challenging, but it is possible. Children of unloving parents often struggle with deep feelings of inadequacy, believing that they are unworthy of love or respect. But learning to love oneself is the key to healing and growth. Dr. Louise Hay, author of You Can Heal Your Life, once said, "The point of power is always in the present moment." This quote highlights the importance of focusing on the here and now, rather than holding on to the past. The first step in moving from self-hate to self-love is self-awareness. Understanding that the negative beliefs about oneself were formed by past experiences, not the truth, is essential. For many, this involves identifying the hurtful messages they received from their parents and challenging those beliefs. Therapy is often a crucial step in this process. Trauma-focused therapy, such as EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, helps individuals process past experiences and release the emotional weight attached to them. As a result, they can develop a more positive and realistic view of themselves. Another important strategy is self-compassion. Studies show that people who practice self-compassion have better mental health, lower levels of anxiety, and higher self-esteem. Dr. Kristin Neff's research on self-compassion suggests that treating ourselves with kindness rather than criticism can help reduce feelings of inadequacy. Journaling is another powerful tool for self-love. Writing down thoughts and feelings can help individuals process their emotions and gain clarity about their self-worth. Reflecting on personal strengths and achievements, no matter how small, can also foster a more positive self-image. If you want to continue on this healing journey, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on vital strategies and insights.